So welcome back to my channel. I actually decided to try something a little bit different from what you've seen in my past videos. I figured I'd try to do a video where I can cover this past week in AI, some interesting stories that cover and share and give insight into how AI is actually changing our society moving forward. So I picked out a few stories. Of course, there are so many to choose from, but I picked out stories that cover a lot of different bases. And so we'll just jump straight into it. So as you can see on my screen, the very first one is all about Anthropic partnering up with the US Department of Energy. And what they're doing here is it's actually kind of interesting because we know Anthropic for Claude, Claude being one of the most popular LLMs out there. But what they're doing here is they're actually optimizing Claude so that it will prevent people from being able to create nuclear weapons or design nuclear weapons of any sort using their LLM. Supposedly, they have about 96% accuracy in tests from being able to distinguish what are some harmful queries about nuclear science questions. But this is going to be a continuous work in progress. And this is actually quite interesting because I find that as AI becomes more developed, we're going to be moving into a future where AI safety and responsible AI is going to be a huge thing. I do talk about responsible AI in some of my tutorials and masterclasses before as well. But this is going to be an ongoing trend as we see LLMs such as Claude or AI platforms become more and more developed. So I think it's really cool that Anthropic is one of the first to partner up with national security agencies such as the US Department of Energy to do this, right? And it's really going to set a industry benchmark for how we're shaping out these AI tools to become more responsible. The next story here is Gemini Live being able to help coordinate your outfit. So the main thing here is that Google is moving forward to really pushing Gemini. Whether if you have a Samsung phone or a Pixel, I'm sure if you guys used the Gemini that is installed on your phone to be able to identify objects or identify people using your camera. But the recent news that's really talked about is that how Gemini Live, its ability to be context aware is getting even better now. And it's become so good that it's not only being able to identify objects now, but you can actually put yourself in front of the camera and you can get it to give you some advice about how to coordinate your outfit. This matters because it really is reshaping the way we're thinking about how AI assistants such as Gemini is going to be integrated into our day-to-day habits. Then, just to mix it up a little bit, was the next story. So Databricks recently raised a $100 billion valuation at a Series K, and along with this, they expanded and launched their Agentbricks product. So this is a new tool for building out AI-powered workflow agents specifically for enterprise. So for those of you who aren't aware, Databricks is a pretty powerful big data analytics platform. So they use machine learning and all that stuff to help companies, mainly enterprise companies, turn data into actual actionable insights. So here's the actual article here. So we already have different platforms for AI agents, mainly from a consumer C2C point of view, but this being Databricks being a product mainly for C2B enterprise companies to build out AI agents. This makes a pretty big shift in the business world, especially when it comes to AI. And then moving on to the next story, and for anyone who loves science, such as myself, I thought this one was a really cool one. IBM and NASA team up to open source AI model for Surya. So Surya is their AI model for predicting solar weather and protecting critical infrastructure for our world. So they actually have made this available on Hugging Face, as you guys can see here. And then here's the official article where they talk about open source. So this is actually quite a cool story because especially people that love science or love space, this democratizes access to these advanced scientific models that would only be accessible for researchers and people in this space. But now, if you're interested, since it's open source, you can actually get access to these advanced AI models. And you can even contribute to perhaps even helping out and being able to predict different solar patterns and weather that is out in space. So this is quite cool. And then the next story is all about Incode acquiring AuthenticID. So I myself am not really familiar with Incode, so I had to look them up. So Incode is a company that does everything to do with facial recognition, biometric data, document authentication, and so on. And then AuthenticID, they're another company that is focused really on like advanced fraud detection. So Incode actually acquired AuthenticID. This acquisition is really going to help move the needle when it comes to digital identity security, right? As we all know, being on the internet, cyber threats, cybersecurity is going to be a big topic of discussion, or it already is, but it's only going to get worse and worse, especially with AI fraud and AI deepfakes and all these things going on, right? And so as these concerns continue about our online identity, consolidating all of these technologies together into a single platform is hopefully going to ensure better trust and privacy for these cyber threats across the board. And then second to last story for those sports fans out there. So you can see Satya Nadella of Microsoft. He recently released a post regarding how they're bringing Copilot, so Microsoft's Copilot, to the NFL, right? So what does this mean? This collaboration, this partnership with NFL and Microsoft is really interesting because it's going to be able to give coaches and athletes and just overall sports teams the same AI power that a lot of us that are using AI on a day-to-day basis for business have as well, right? So this is going to upgrade sports analytics to the next level, and it's also going to probably change the way we look at sports entertainment as a whole, because now with them learning how to use these AI tools to analyze what the different moves that are made and get real-time analysis into the sport itself, whether it be audience engagement or so on. This is going to change the way we really look at sports moving forward. And then finally, the last story for this TLDR is Keychain raising $30 million in regards to their new Keychain OS product. Keychain AI is a company that really helps to build software to automate manufacturing, mainly in the CPG sector, right? So CPG, consumer packaged goods. And so they recently raised $30 million and launched what their product, Keychain OS. And what this Keychain OS is just an operating system. It's an AI-powered operating system that's supposed to help other manufacturing companies optimize their manufacturing, storing, and distribution across for the CPG industry. So the reason why this matters is because it's just another proof that we're getting to that one step closer where AI is going to be implemented across every single sector. As we've already talked about, even in this video, we talked about science, sports, and everything in between. And so manufacturing is another big one that can be optimized. And this is just another move forward where AI tailor-made products are being applied to legacy industries to improve efficiency across the board. So yeah, those are all the stories that I covered today. If you found this one interesting, I would really appreciate a like and leave a comment down below if these sorts of TLDRs are helpful to you. You can also, I'll try to leave the link for these stories in the description below. And yeah, see you next video.